a former Marine traveling, and the police pull him over. This was in Nevada. They took $87,000 from him, even though he had committed no crime, was never charged for anything. This is a true story. Nevada trooper first told Stephen Lara the highway patrol was educating drivers, get this, about violations they may not realize they're committing. Okay, so that's the pretext to the stop. Hey, buddy, I'm pulling you over because we're involved in a massive educational campaign to just inform drivers of things they may not be aware of. Now that's a new one. You already know you're dealing with a really creative trooper here, right? It gets deeper. Eventually, the trooper did admit to having another purpose: stopping the smuggling of illegal drugs, weapons, and currency as they crossed the state. I have no problem with that. You're in pursuit of criminal activity. That's what you all do, okay? But that's not what they did. This former Marine, who says he was on his way to visit his daughters in Northern California, insisted he was doing none of those things. Though he readily admitted, ladies and gentlemen, that he did have a lot of cash in his car. Once again, not illegal. As he stood on the side of the road, police searched the vehicle, pulling nearly $87,000 in a zip-top bag from his trunk. He said he had a bunch of cash. He said he does not deal in narcotics. He is not a smuggler of any kind. He has cash, and he said, "You are free to check my vehicle." He told them, check it. Nothing illegal here. Going to see my daughter, Northern California, just passing through, okay? The police found no drugs. This gentleman was not charged with any crime. But police still took his damn money. Now, I'm scratching my head because I'm wondering, how in the hell can the police just take your money on the side of the road and let you keep driving with no charge whatsoever? No evidence of any criminal activity. They have not researched this individual and said, aha, tax evasion, we must seize the money. None of the above. Look at how they took the money. This is a real legal process that was reinstated by Jeff Sessions. Let's put up a picture of good old Jeff and his once buddy, Donald Trump. Jeff Sessions and Donald Trump, two peas in a pod, right? The love affair ended. But when Trump appointed that character reinstated a program called adoptive forfeiture. Remember that terminology, adoptive forfeiture. It had been eliminated under the former Attorney General appointed by President Barack Obama, Eric Holder. Holder said, this is a ridiculous rule. I'm getting rid of it. Jeff Sessions gets appointed, he puts it right back in there, okay? So they found no drugs, nothing. So what did the cop do? The cop decided to call the DEA. No drugs here. The cop called the DEA a federal agent, and the federal agent coordinated something called an adoption, which allows federal authorities to seize cash or property they suspect is connected to criminal activity without levying criminal charges. Wow. You can just say, hey, I think you sell dope. So because I have an opinion that you sell dope, I'm going to just take your money and I can seize your property. It's called adoptive forfeiture. We could just do that because we feel like it. And the way the rule works, they can keep your money forever until you file the proper paperwork to get it back. Damn. Only in America, ladies and gentlemen. So here's what the victim of these cops said. I left there confused. I was angry. And I could not believe that I had just literally been robbed on the side of the road by people with badges and guns. Let's put up a picture of this victim. Now, I want to remind you, he was just passing through. He was going up to California to meet his daughter. Come to find out, ladies and gentlemen, he had a perfectly good reason for having that amount of cash. He didn't trust banks. He was making a large payment that he was responsible to make. He was making that payment directly in the state of California. It was only after he got a lawyer, sued, and talked to the Washington Post about his ordeal that the government said they would return his money. He had to get a lawyer, he had to get the media involved, and then all of a sudden, magically, his money reappears. Okay, they give him his money back. The DEA spokeswoman, Ann Edgecombe, said the agency had made a decision to return the money, and the Justice Department spokesman, Joshua Steve, said the government is, and I quote, reviewing existing policy on adoptive forfeitures. Who's in charge of the DEA right now? This young lady, Miss Ann Milgram. Very smart woman, brilliant. University lecturer. A lot of people had high hopes about her appointment. Miss Ann, you need to get on your damn job. Ben, hell of a story. They took the man's money, no criminal activity whatsoever, and he had to fight in order to get it back. Wow, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's really a lot to this. I mean, the first thing that I'm thinking of is, I mean, like for most of us working class folks, I think we all probably have like an uncle that like doesn't trust banks or whatever. Yep. That likes to operate in cash, and it's like I feel like it's a pretty common thing among like working class Americans that at least one family member is like, I don't trust banks, whatever, and so they keep cash with them, and maybe they want to buy a car for their kids, maybe they want to put a down payment on a house, maybe they want to do whatever, and this is a policy that I think one of the reasons why it's been in place for so long and why there's always this sort of like flip-flopping from one administration to another instead of like long-term legislation is because it's kind of only like a working class issue, right? Like, Jeff Bezos isn't running around with $87,000 in his backpack, right? He's got like, billions of dollars in random like accounts and stuff like that. It's not like physical cash that he's carrying around. Working class people carry around cash. And so this type of like getting pulled over by police and getting this money, it's just got like wild west vibes where, like the, corrupt sheriff pulls you over and, asks you for protection money, basically.
Yeah, and remember, all of this was done on the side of the road. I'm completely convinced that this state trooper knew the DEA agent who would do all of this within a few minutes or maybe an hour on the side of the road to take away someone's money, and you have no evidence that they are a criminal. You can't even arrest them. He gets to drive away robbed, but he gets to keep going. His money obviously was returned. Now they are reviewing the policy. And the current attorney general, as well as the DEA administrator, they need to get on their job. To their credit, they have reversed a significant number of Trump era policies as it relates to the DOJ and the DEA, but they have not done enough, all right?